Scott, thanks for joining us. Another exciting game on the horizon as we travel to Notts County at the weekend. What are your thoughts heading into that one?
A good game to play in. I think that we enjoy playing against good teams. I think it's important that we challenge ourselves against the better teams of the division. I think it's good for us, for our development as a team as well. And yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be a challenge, you know, especially away from home at Notts County is always a tough place to go. They've had some kind of indifferent results, lost to Gillingham at the weekend. I think it's the first time they hadn't actually managed to score. So we know they're capable of scoring. They're very strong at the top end of the pitch. Got lots of respect for the manager, Mike Patterson, who I know really well. Did my A licence with him many years ago. So yeah, we think it's going to be a very difficult game, but like I say, one we're really looking forward to.
Yeah, just owing to the size of the club, you know, the history and everything, it's always going to be billed as one of the toughest places to go in the league, and it's one that you need to go to with a lot of confidence. And fortunately, with the recent results, we will be doing that, won't we? Yeah,
good timing. You always got to go to Notts County with good timing, and at the moment we're playing really well and obviously winning, which is important, that we go there full of confidence, because we do. And I'm happy with the progression that the team are making. Even though it was a slow start, we've actually got off and running now, so we want to continue that, and Saturday's another opportunity for us to continue that. Like I said, it's going to be a tough game, but I back my team. If we get everything right, I back us to go there and win.
Yeah, we spoke after the first few games about how the lads were hungry to win their first game. I suppose now it's a different type of hunger to keep the winning streak alive, and you know that must be obviously a nice feeling to have around the training ground.
Yeah, winning mentality is important. I think it's always the same. When you're losing games, you never feel you're going to win one, and then when you're winning games, you never feel like you're ever going to lose one. So we feel like that at the moment. Of course, we know football's got a nasty habit of kicking you in the teeth when things are going really well. We've just got to continue to work really hard and prepare properly, do everything that we normally do, work extremely hard on the training ground, which we have done, and attack this game like it's another cup final for us, because they all are. They're all tough games. And like I say, I feel really confident in my team at the moment. And I think if we get everything right on the day, that we're capable of winning against anybody, let alone Notts County. So, yeah. So listen, I think it's a really good game for us. I think that they're a good side, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to watching my team play against a good side.
Yeah, and the squad have handled the last few weeks really well. There's been a lot of sort of chopping and changing with the lineup, which has been forced obviously with injuries and suspensions. So, again, while we often say it's a nice problem for a manager to have, with some players coming back from suspension and an injury and everything like that, is there going to be any sort of selection headache from yourself, or does it sort of right itself with the way we've been playing?
I think probably from the outside looking in, people would think that it's an headache, but it's not. It's actually really easy to me. I think it's really clear what the team should look like, and I think that it's really clear what the bench should look like. So, headache, no. A lot of professionals at the club that would think that they should be in the team and think that they should be in the squad. And they probably have a case because of doing really well the other night, for argument's sake, and training well. But at the moment, I don't think there's call for major changes, because we're winning and playing well. So I think it's really clear and easy.
Yeah, on that note, any of the players that have been injured look like you to return at the weekend? Or
yeah, so Gav missed Tuesday night through a little ankle injury. He wasn't available, so we had to kind of monitor that this week, but he's now back available, trained today. He'll be back in contention to be in the squad.
Perfect. Right.
Brilliant. Just on the injuries, I saw Jay Williams and I think Danny Cashman were both here on Tuesday night. Can you give us just an update on them in terms of time?
Yeah, so Jay Williams is probably going to be, I would think, around mid-November in terms of playing. I think we did earmark the Gillingham away game. I'm not sure on the date of that, maybe the 15th of November, something like
that, yes. Yeah.
So we earmarked that one. Obviously that can change during his rehab, depending on how well it's going. knowing Jay, he'll be ready for next week. So he's working extremely hard. Danny Cashman has is a different kind of injury where it's a fascial kind of injury, which he still has a feeling in there. With fascial injuries you can play on, but the feeling's so bad that he feels that he can't kick a ball and he can't break into a sprint. So it's again kind of an ongoing process. I can't give you a definite date on that one, but yeah, it's kind of a frustrating one for him. Yeah.
On Saturday, obviously with the Cheltenham win, you said about how they sat off. They didn't do a high press or anything, and your defender and keeper had more time on the ball. I'm assuming you're not expecting that this weekend, and does that suit you better when teams press you more?
I think we don't know what to expect with Notts County. Sometimes they've pressed, and sometimes they've not had loads of numbers up the pitch. Does it suit us more? I'm giving my secrets away. I think it suits us more if the team do come after us, personally. I think there's an opportunity for us to play round or through the press. One pass can take out 4 or 5 players and then we're at them.
Yeah.
I think when a team bank in a little bit more, it becomes a little bit more of a slow build and can become frustrating, and it almost feels as if we've run out of ideas at times where that isn't the case. I think it's just that we're waiting for the right moment to thread the right pass, or there has to be a little bit more patience come when a team do sit in and bank in. Either way, I'm not bothered, if the truth be known. But we do like it when a team come after us. I think it really tests us when a team come after us. I quite like that.
Yeah. And after Saturday's game, I think the club put out a social media post about the stats from the game, and it showed 58% possession, XG was 2.17 or something like that. Is there a particular stat that you look at first when you come off a pitch to sort of give an indication of how the team performed, or is it all the stats together? Yeah,
I think pass completion's a big one for me. I want it over 80 to 85% pass completion. I'm not talking about possession. The possession stat is a possession stat, but you can have 500 passes for argument's sake, but if you've only completed 66% possession, you've not actually owned the ball as well. So pass completion is important, and XG. I think XG is always a go-to for me. I think it's a rough reflection of, have you made them work? Have you made the defence work? Have you made the goalkeeper work for the opposition? I know sometimes that can not always paint a true picture. I can give you one example of that. When Kaheem Dixon went through against Chesterfield in the 1v1, it was arguably our biggest chance in the whole game, and probably the biggest chance that we've missed in the whole season. It never goes down as an XG chance because he doesn't actually shoot.
Right.
So it doesn't register as XG.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can be clouded with things like that, and I think that even Macca's chance, again another gilt-edged chance in that same game that we talk about, where Cabby plays the ball across, and it almost looks like an open goal. I think that to be kind to Macca, the keeper does get a touch on it, so when he thinks the ball's coming in front of him, it actually goes behind him. Again, it doesn't register as XG because he didn't shoot. So there's 2 chances I've just mentioned in 2 different games there that are arguably our biggest chances of the whole season have not registered as XG. But it does give you a rough reflection of what have we had chances. I do like to look at touches in the opposition box as well. It's another reflection of that. Have we held possession in the high end of the pitch, and have we made sure that we've asked questions of their defensive line again by touches in the box. If we're around 30 and the opposition around 10, then it looks like a bit more of a one-sided game to me.
Yeah, definitely. Finish with quite a big question.
Good question, though.
Thank you. You mentioned you mentioned it on Tuesday, and you mentioned it just a minute ago about how you did your A licence 15, 16 years ago. Football's changed quite a lot in that time. How have you changed as a coach, as a manager, and even as a person in that time, do you think? Quite a big one for you.
Yeah, it is a big one. As a person, I'm a lot calmer, for sure. I think that players will probably not say that, but I'm a lot calmer than I was. I think that sometimes you have to understand that you, as much as you want, you can't kick every ball for them out there. And sometimes football, no matter how well you prepare your team to play against an opposition and you want it to look in a certain way, sometimes football doesn't allow that, not through anything you've done wrong as a manager or a coach or the players have done wrong, but it's just the state of the game might be different, it might look different, might feel different, the referee might have made a couple of decisions that have swayed the start of a game, now we can't get a foothold in it. I understand that there's so many variables that can happen in a game that change the course of a game and the course of a result. And what I do on the training pitch is only a real small part of it. And there's so many things that can happen that can change that, and I'm not in control, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So, you know, you can only control the controllables, and basically what I'm trying to say is make sure that I coach my team as best as I can to make sure that that bit is ticked off, and then it's over to the football gods a little bit, you know. I think that's probably what I've learned over my experience of doing this job. What was the...
It was just how have you changed as a coach?
Yeah,
as well?
From a coaching point of view, I think you evolve as you go. I think I've always wanted to have all the ball all the time. I think that there's certain things, me and my analyst Connor was talking today actually, and he asked me a similar question about how do you evolve your style of play. I think there's always tweaks all the time. You know, you look at certain aspects of the game and you think, right, you know, I was convinced that a certain action works every time, and having kind of reviewed it, it doesn't. So then, therefore, we don't have to do it every time. We probably have to do something different. So you're always watching and reflecting on the team. I think the team more than reflect on myself, obviously as well, but the team and looking at, you know, actions, how we can look real smooth playing through the pitch. You're always learning, you know, you never stop learning in football. And yeah, I think that my style of play has never really changed, but I've kind of evolved it with certain little bits and pieces inside it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Scott. Cheers.
Sure.